Alright, hey, what's up you guys? Gavin here. Today we're going to be talking about a pretty spectacular album. The album we're looking at today is Amo by Bring Me the Horizon. Alrighty, so the first thing I'm talking about are my first impressions of the album. Straight off the bat, I was a little bit surprised. The album was interesting, to say the least. Huge fan of Bring Me the Horizon. When I first was introduced to Bring Me the Horizon, we kind of got the sense that they were a heavy metal band. I kind of got the sense that they were, screamo and all those things. Previous trends have showed us that, like, a lot of bands will usually stick to the genre that they are in. Once they get, like, attached to a said title, or, a bunch of fans kind of not necessarily stick them in a box, but technically speaking, it can be kind of a habit to just stay with the same type of sound, because that's just what the fan base seems to have attached to. That's cool, but it doesn't leave any room for growth. It doesn't leave any room for experimentation or, things of that nature. I mean, all the bands that have ever gotten big have always kind of stayed, well, somewhat. There are some exceptions to this. I feel like Queen kind of did that with Bohemian Rhapsody. Had such an interesting take on people can experiment with sound and experiment with genre and genre bending and get away with it. They were very successful with that, and it proved that it was just a rock band, and they kind of stayed within their realms of rock and things like that. But they were very successful with oh, we're also gonna start including other things into our sound. My first impression, it was very surprising. It was a lot of synths. It was very electronic based. There was very little to no metal music or screaming. It definitely was a step in the door or stepping stone into, well, technically speaking, I feel like Sempiternal was a huge indicator that they were heading this direction. There's so many songs off of Sempiternal, there's so many remixes that, like, it was almost inevitable that their next album was going to be electronic based, or at least have some electronic. I don't think anyone expected the whole album to just be purely electronic, because that's what basically it was. Alrighty, so the next thing I'm talking about are the lyrics. Some of the lyrics kind of seemed they were aware of themselves, kind of aware that they had made a huge, completely different direction in where longtime fans thought they would end up. I honestly don't even know what fans expected from Bring Me the Horizon. For instance, Metallica. They stayed metal for the longest time. Blink-182 stuck to punk. U2, like the Beatles, even. They stayed to the alternative indie rock sound. There wasn't ever really like huge switch for any of these bands. You establish your fan base, you establish your sound, and then you stick with that throughout. But what does it mean to go long term? Did Metallica make multiple albums? It looks as if Metallica just kept coming out with music and more music and more music. You have fans of previous albums, and you have fans of current albums, and you have fans in, waiting for what's coming up next. The idea was that Bring Me the Horizon was gonna do that too. They were gonna follow in the steps of their predecessors and stick to heavy metal and just become a classic heavy metal band, a household name in this genre. The fact of the matter is that there's a lot of innovative bands coming out, a lot of bands that are, stepping outside of the box and, genre bending themselves, and it's making for a, some people say saturated. I think it makes for variety of music. I think it really does allow for a very dynamic listening experience, in my opinion. There's just so much to listen to and so many different things you can do with music nowadays. I think that Bring Me the Horizon embraced that. Well, music is changing. Genres are changing. There's a lot more people in the scene. There's a lot more people developing new scenes. Like, where do we fit in this industry, or in this, I don't know if that's necessarily a community, but you know, what role do they play? You know, what role does heavy metal play? Is it a huge thing? Is it not? You know, pop music's gonna always be pop music. Electronic music's always gonna be kind of a faceted thing because it comes with, you know, the party scene and things, and the drug scene a lot of the time. So, you know, there's a lot of things you have to consider. You weigh the pros and cons and whether or not it's a good idea to stick to what you're sticking to, if it's not even a popular thing in general, or is it good to branch out just to see what exactly your band is capable of, and or what exactly the fans will react to, whether it's good or bad, and go from there. In the lyrics, they were aware of this because of heavy metal. That was a huge indicator. I Don't Know What to Say was another huge indicator. I don't know about Medicine, but you know, there was just a lot of evidence in their lyrics that were like, you know, we're doing this on purpose. I apologize if you feel something. Wonderful life. Why you gotta kick me when I'm down? Just all these were just like, I get it, we're trying something new and you don't like it, but this is just where we're going, type of thing. And I don't know, it's kind of like the ability to make fun of yourself, I guess. I think in Bring Me the Horizon's case it's a little bit different because they're not really making fun of themselves or trying to make it a positive thing, more or less just kind of, music has a lot to do with feelings and, you know, emotions and expressing yourself, and I think they were just expressing how exactly they knew, they kind of predicted the audience would feel about this album and this new change in direction. Alright, so the next one I'm talking about are the band similarities. Now, usually I would say Bring Me the Horizon would be like Chelsea Grin, Avenged Sevenfold, Alasana. With this genre change, it's a little bit difficult to be like, yeah, those are the bands that they are similar to. Yeah, that's not exactly the case anymore. They made such a drastic change in their sound that I would honestly relate it to maybe Balance and Composure a little bit. Their last album, the last album that they put out was kind of along the lines of synthy. It just honestly sounded like their remixes. Like every time someone would remix Sleepwalking, Can You Feel My Heart? It was like whoever remixed those albums completely teamed up with Bring Me the Horizon and just like took over. It's just synths. It's like all these Sykes vocals with synths. Alrighty, so the next one I'm talking about is my favorite song. So my favorite songs, there's a few that I was like super into. Ouch was probably the first one. I really liked Ouch. The other one was Fresh Bruises. These were really good songs. They had really good synths. They had a really good sound. I really liked it and things as far as synths and electronic music goes. So those are definitely the sounds I'm looking for and whatnot. But I think out of both of them, I'd probably pick Ouch. Alright, so the last one I'm talking about are the singing and screaming styles. Singing, there was some singing. Some people would describe it as Justin Bieber-y. The screaming, not much screaming. There was probably like little to no screaming. I think there was one where he like yelled high pitched. There's like some yelling going on, but nothing substantial, nothing like anything before. I don't know, because I like that they do synths. I like that they experiment with their sound. I just really felt indifferent about the fact that they completely was just like, we're gonna do so far away from heavy metal altogether, versus like Semi-Paternal, which was pristine, by the way. They did a perfect blend of electronic and heavy metal. It was like the happy medium that everyone, the happy compromise that everyone was fucking, you know, ecstatic over. Like, if they had done another album like that, we'd be in a whole different fucking place. Alright guys, if you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. If you have any other suggestions for movies, music, games alike, leave them in the comment section. I'll be sure to check them out. And to rate this album, woo, I really hate to do this to Bring Me the Horizon because I love their music, I love their everything, but I'm probably gonna give it like a 2. Yeah, 2 out of 5. The difference was cool, and I hope to see that maybe this experimental sound that they're bringing, because it could be really good, you know. Don't forget to subscribe. Peace.